Well, here we're looking at Baidu on the daily, and we are still seeing this in this corrective kind of scenario here as it starts to kind of come back. Here, we had this really forecasted to that C wave coming in, and this was a little longer in time there, kind of little, but it's basically still the C wave, and then we see this first pretty good dip. Now, what we need to kind of expect if we're going to see a deep move, and say, for example, we're seeing some, uh, to be frank, this I'm not really showing this part, and I didn't, show the or do the analysis on that for the Elliott wave. So I would just be saying here, if this is the midpoint of a longer corrective action, and we start to see this come back and pull back, we could be looking at a five wave down move, and like a deep zigzag, because like you can have what they call combinations, that you could have this, say, a flat. And I don't want to get too far into that because some people aren't familiar with Elliott wave, but all it is kind of a pattern that runs similar to this. It's kind of just run sideways for a while. And that's combinations of this. But a zigzag is a five wave down, a three wave up, and then a five wave down. It could be dramatic, but what can happen is you could be starting that, and it could be any combination. That's what they mean, combinations of it, like a flat wave, which would be excluding this, but it's just like I was saying, a combination of possibly. So what we could be really seeing is, and it makes sense here, it seems a little overextended. You could see it's starting to come really deep into here, and it's really testing this 195 level. This was the range I think I've talked about, and I said this is going to be an important range. It'll provide some support. We're there, 195 on the low. I do think very likely, if we're going to see the bounce, it'll bounce back up to 204. And then this could be that little pullback, as this may be the one wave, this a two wave corrective wave, and then the three wave. So this is what I'm thinking may be happening. So sometimes you have to allow certain things to take events, and once they do, it becomes a little more concise, or the odds start to favor you. But it still makes sense, as we are still seeing it in an oversold condition, coming very close to our prior ranges where we know that it's exceeded, and it's really it starts to bounce back once it comes into those ranges. So we could really start to see that. Plus, it's also in the midpoint of the channel, so you could see that too. So if we're going to start to really see it bounce, I think we'll see it come back to maybe 204, maybe 205, and hopefully hold that midpoint. Now, keep in mind, these two wave corrective waves can come up to 78% on a retracement. They can come a lot of times deep corrective waves because they fake people out that they're going to go, and then they reverse, and that's why you get the powerful three wave move. But anyway, that's what we're looking for. Watch for that. That would kind of be like the midpoint 50% around that 204, 205 level.